We thank you, Professor Borkoteki, and I will go to our next presenter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Carmona and Dr. Surajit. Our next presenter is Mr. L.Thangmawia, and he has a master's in science in mathematics, and he's a gold medalist of the year 1998 from Northeastern Hill University, Shillong, India. And currently he is pursuing a PhD in mathematics education in Mizoram University. He is an assistant professor in the Department of Mathematics, Pashanga University College, a constituent college of Mizoram University. He is a member of Legislative Assembly of Mizoram and also Vice Chairman, Human Resources Development Board, Government of Mizoram. Welcome, Mr. L.Thangmawia.
Thank you. Dr. Guadalaraja from University of Texas, USA. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And coordinator of this conference, Professor Jamal Hussain and Dr. Veronica, and all the panelists and all the participants. I am very happy today to have a very good time to present my work under the guidance of Professor Jamal Hussain. Now, I think you can see my screen. It is mathematics education in Mizoram, an overview.
L.Thangmawia, you can enlarge the screen.
No, sir, it cannot be enlarged more than this.
No, slide you can, I think, do that. Slides.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Screen is visible, yes.
Mizoram is one of the states in the northeastern part of India. Before the Indian independence, all the northeastern states are in Assam, and all other 6 states from the northeast, other than Assam, are the offspring of Assam. And it is one of the states in India near the border of Bangladesh and Myanmar. And it covers an area of 12,087 square kilometers. And after Indian independence, it was one of the district of Assam. And from 1972, it became Union Territory of India. And then it got its statehood in 1987. Now, we all know that in every part of the world, mathematics is one of the hardest subjects. The same is in Mizoram also. It is the hardest subject in school education all the time. Students always have a sense of fear and failure. According to the research finding by Mr. L.Thangmawia in 2011 under Executive Education Department, mathematics is the most difficult subject for Mizo pupils, right from elementary school, which need to be addressed properly. And many efforts were made from the government side, from the non-governmental organization, NGO side, and also from the teaching community side and the department also. But till now, it is one of the dreaded subjects in Mizoram. Now let's discuss the present status of mathematics in the whole country, India. Mathematics occupy an important position in the Indian education, and it was made compulsory in the school education by the Secondary Education Commission in 1952. Now we have National Education Policy 2020 recently, last year, And this policy also gave importance to mathematics education. It stated that it is recognized that mathematics and mathematical thinking will be very important for India's future. And India's
Professor,
leadership.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Professor. We're not seeing your slides. We only see one slide, but it's not changing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but you have a lot of slides and we're not seeing them.
Okay. Can you see now? In my screen, everything is okay.
We only see the cover, slide number 1, but I think you're talking and we're not seeing the slides change.
Can you see now? Okay, let me share again from the beginning. Okay.
Yes.
Can you see now, Mom?
Yes, sir, we can see the slides. Can you change the slide, please? Yes, very good. We can see the new slides. Thank you, sir.
Now, National Education Policy 2020 stated that in the para 4.25, it is recognized that mathematics and mathematical thinking will be very important for India's future and India's leadership role in the numerous upcoming fields and professions that will involve artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science. Now, that means that NEP 2020 also put mathematics in the important position. Now we'll go to beginning of mathematics education and more generally education in Mizoram. Since mathematics form a part of education from elementary stage of education in Mizoram, the history of development of education will means development of mathematics education. Education was introduced in Mizoram by Reverend J.S. Lorraine and Reverend F.W. Savage, the pioneer Christian missionaries, who arrived Mizoram on 11th January 1894. The missionary made the alphabet for the Mizo people. And the first lower primary school examination was held in June 1903, in which 18 candidates appeared. And the first middle school examination was conducted 6 years later in 1909 with 6 candidates. The progress and expansion of education in Mizoram was rather slow till 1950s, and the first high school was opened in 1944 only not much years ago, and which was taken over by the Assam government in 1950. Now we see the growth of Mizoram tabulate in this form. Some years are skipped so that we may have a better idea in only one slide. Now, 1894, only one primary school, but as of now, in 2019, that is the latest data from the school education, there are 1,955 primary school and 1,550 middle school, 707 high school, and 196 higher secondary school. Now, we'll go to beginning of mathematics education in Mizoram. Mathematics was included under science umbrella in Mizoram. I know this from the telephonic interview with the former director of education, Dr. L.Thangmawia, Prior to 1973, science was taught in middle school as general knowledge, dealing mainly with biological science, and the physical science and mathematics are at that time totally left out. Science subject was made optional in high schools, and only few students took science in high school and colleges. In Mizoram, science education in its true sense began since 1973, when the UNICEF assisted science education program was launched after the government of the Union Territory of Mizoram signed a bond with the government of India accepting the introduction of science in 50 primary schools and 30 middle schools. The Directorate of Education was established in 1972 and a new and separate wing for science promotion. Now it is called Science and Mathematics Promotion Wing under SCRT that was created in the Education Department in 1973. A science promotion officer and science consultants were appointed to look after and man the pilot project in science and mathematics education. Government of Mizoram established State Council for Education, Research and Training, SCRT, under Education Directorate, only as a separate wing in 1980 initially. Now, for the regulation of education in Mizoram, an autonomous body called the Mizoram Board of School Education, in the abbreviated form MBSC, was established with an act of the Mizoram Legislative Assembly in December 1976. When the MBSC was established in 1976, it inherited the curriculum and syllabi of the Secondary Board of Assam. In October 1977, the academic wing of MBSC started to develop its own curriculum and syllabi to suit the needs of the Mizo people, Mizoram. The MBSC conducted its first HSLC examination, that is the end point of the secondary education in Mizoram, HSLC High School Leaving Certificate Examination in 1978. Mathematics was made one of compulsory subject with the name General Mathematics, which was later changed to Mathematics from the year 1983. In 1958, the first higher institution in Mizoram, that is now called Pachunga University College, was opened at Aizawl, and the college introduced science and mathematics stream from the year 1973, that is about 49 years ago. At present, other 5 colleges introduced science and mathematics stream: Lunglei Government College in the year 1973, Kolosiv Government College in 1987, Champhai Government College in 1997, Serchiv Government College in 1998, and Joointly Residential Science College in 2000. Mizoram University, now also it is one of the organizers of this SDM conference, was created by an act of Indian Parliament in 2000, and it became functional from 2nd July 2001. Under Mizoram University, Department of Mathematics and Computer Science came into existence in the year 2006 with the intake of its first batch of postgraduate students in 2007. That is only a few years ago. Now, I'll go to a small literature review. NCRT published one book, positional paper in 2006, and identified that there is a sense of fear and failure regarding mathematics among majority of Indian children, and there is lack of support in the teaching of mathematics. NCRT is for foreign participants. NCRT is a nationwide autonomous body created by India, that is National Council of Education, Research and Training, to regulate, to frame, and to work for the secular education. In this paper, it was stated that by class 3 or 4, many children start seeing themselves as unable to cope with the demand made by mathematics. In high school, among children who fail only in one or two subjects in year-end examination and hence are detained, the maximum number fails in mathematics. This statistic pursues us right through to class 10, which is when the Indian state issues a certificate of education to a student. The largest number of both exam failure also happen in mathematics. Now, the recent study done by Professor Joointly, Education Department of Mizoram University, and L.Thangmawia last year, 2020, found out that secondary school student performance in mathematics has been consistently poor and suggested that more research need to be taken up for finding out the problem of students with regard to mathematics. More effort be given for the development of mathematics education, and the state government need to pay special attention for the development of mathematics education. Another thesis, another paper, L.Thangmawia 2011, found out that mathematics is the most difficult subject for Mizoram people right from elementary school, which need to be addressed properly. He also suggested that the following may be some suggestion for improvement in teaching of mathematics. Teachers should present mathematics in an interesting manner, and teachers should be trained especially for teaching mathematics, and teacher handbook for teaching mathematics may be made. This is the suggestion from his studies. Now, there is another big issue from the intellectual circle from Mizoram also. There is a criticism that mathematics should not be compulsory after elementary, that is beyond class 8. And that issue was taken up by the government at that time. And this 63rd meeting of the Syllabus and Textbook Committee of MBS is a very, very special committee chaired by the Education Minister at that time. And it was held on 5th July 2011, and in its resolution number SC 63 2011-06, it was decided that two levels, that is Group A and Group B, in class 9 and K10 in mathematics subject should be introduced, whereby only those students who opt for Group A mathematics will be the normal mathematics student who can go for science, but the Group B are for those who may not opt for science in higher studies. They may go to arts or any other other than science. This was felt important because there are a number of students failing in the subject or who barely manage to make through HSLC but never have any link with mathematics for their future studies. In short, there are many successful persons who still dread the subject. That is the view of that committee. Also, the same thing happened in the CBSE, which is the nationwide board, All India Board, Central Board of Secondary Education. It decided two levels of examination in mathematics again from March 2020. And one should be known as Mathematics Standard, and one should be known as Mathematics Basic. The idea is same with the previous suggestion made by the Mizoram board, but in Mizoram board it was not implemented till now. CBSE is implementing this scheme from last year. Now there is many initiative for upliftment of mathematics education in Mizoram. From the government side, SCRT is separate directorate under School Education Department. They are giving out proficiency award for mathematics from 20-30 years ago, and training program was also organized every year when it feels necessary. Many training programs were organized by SCRT, and publication and other support, funding also given by the SCRT. And MMS is not a government organization. It is a voluntary organization called Mizoram Mathematics Society. Mathematics Society in Mizoram was established with the aim of removing maths phobia, maths fear, and it is campaigning everywhere in Mizoram, and it also organized mathematics competition. Actually, this competition is not to find out the best mathematics student, but to make a general student mathematics fearless. That's why the question is also set differently. Not a very difficult question were not always set in this competition. Only about 5 or 10% are hard or difficult. The remaining 80 or 90% are a very easy question. Like that is the spirit of this mathematics society competition. And many students participate. And today is also they are organizing online mathematics competition successfully. And another government organization is government department is MISTIC. The long form of MISTIC is Mizoram Science, Technology and Innovation Council. It is observing National Mathematics Day by MMS and other persons who are interested in mathematics under the funding given by MISTIC and the support given by MISTIC. And MISTIC is also funding many science and mathematics program and many science and mathematics society and organization. And it also gave stipend and scholarship for science and mathematics students in higher studies. Now, this scholarship was merged to Mizoram Scholarship Board. It has a very special scholarship. Now, I'll say the background shortly. Prior to before 1990, the year 1990, every bright student from Mizoram opt for professional lines. And at that time, to attract bright students to study the basic science like chemistry, physics, and mathematics, they are giving a very good amount of scholarship at that time. And many students were attracted for studying general science and mathematics courses like MA Mathematics, MSc Mathematics, like that. And another initiative was taken by Mizoram University through many research activities, and now it widens its activities globally. And global initiative was taken from this year. I thank to Mizoram University for taking this very important program for the benefit of the Mizo student. Now, another initiative was also taken from Department of Mathematics, Patsuma University College, where I am still working in this university. It also gave use of some mathematics software training, and also research project was also taken by two of the faculties, myself and Dr. L.Thangmawia, to know what portion is most difficult from the HSLC candidate. For that one, sample answer paper was requested from MBSC from every examination center, and every question was analyzed. How many students answer wrongly and how many students answer correctly. That was analyzed, and it was found out that geometry portion is answered most incorrectly by the HSLC candidates at that time in the 2013 HSLC examination. Now, let's see the overview of the syllabus. I will not go in detail. This is class 1 syllabus. All these syllabus were made by the SCRT, State Council for Educational Research and Training, in line with the NCRT, National Curriculum Framework, and there will not be much deviation with the rest of the country. Now, this is mathematics syllabi from class 5 to class 8. I'll not go in detail. Anyway, if any participant want this syllabus, it can be given through soft copy also. And this is class 9 syllabus. I'll go a little bit detail. Now in Unit 1, there is number system, real number and set. Unit 2, commercial mathematics like compound interest, ratio and proportion. And Unit 3, polynomial, GCD and polynomial, linear equation like that, and geometry, common geometry, coordinate geometry, trigo, mensuration like that. I don't know, is there any deviation with the USA mathematics class 9 syllabus? And our session chair, I may request our session chair, is there any deviation with the most developed countries USA syllabus? Now the next one is class 10. Class 10, Unit 1, commercial mathematics installment. This is general installment problem. Now time, distance and work, algebra, polynomial, continued, and linear equation in two variable again, quadratic equation, and geometry, triangle, circle, construction, coordinate geometry, trigo, continued, and mensuration, statistics, present, class 9 and 10 syllabus. It was taken from CBSE syllabus, but some slight modification was made, some omission was also made, but it is not much deviate from the current CBSE syllabus for the whole country, made for the whole country. And this is class 11. Class 11, set and function, algebra, coordinate geometry, calculus, mathematical reasoning. I'll not go in every detail here. Now this is class 12 syllabus, relation and function, algebra, calculus, vector and 3D geometry, linear programming, and probability. Now, Professor Jamal want to know all the data of HSLC. And so here we are trying to collect all the data right from 1978, but it was not digitized, and it is a very, very huge task, and we approach the MBSA authority for permission, and then the government of Mizoram for the funding. And after getting the data from MBSA, the mean mark was calculated in its subject, and subject-wise pass percentage was also calculated. Here is the data entry project of HSLC examination funded by government of Mizoram through Socio-Economic Development Policy (SEDP). This is the date is here. It is 4th September 2021. Here, many young computer experts were employed to enter the data manually. Before 2008, the MBSE do not digitize the data, and it was written in the paper. These are the sample mark record paper, and all the data were entered through Excel software. And this is the mean score of HSLC candidate under MBSE since inception. Now we see that here mathematics is the purple one. It is here from 1978. It is in the lowest position, but here social studies crosses a little bit in 1990 and 91, and then it's still the lowest, the bottom line, and then social science and English. In 2005, language subject English is in the bottom, but in the whole 43 examination from 1978 to 2021, mathematics is the lowest. Here, this bar graph show the year where mathematics mean mark is not the lowest. Here in 1978, mathematics is the purple one. This social studies is lower than mathematics. In 1990, social studies, and in 2000, all the 3 subjects except the local language subject were lower than mathematics. The mean mark of all those 3 subjects, English, social science, and science, were lower than mathematics. Like this, out of 43 examination, only in 8 examination, mathematics is not the lowest. In all other examination, mathematics occupies the lowest position in terms of the mean marks of the candidates. Now here we see again the subject-wise pass percentage. For this graph, we calculate how many students are scoring more than pass mark in each subject, and then the pass percentage was taken again. Now here we also include overall pass percentage here. Mathematics is again a purple color, and it is in 1978, 1979, and 1980, it is higher than the overall pass percentage, but compared to other subjects, it's still in the bottom line, as we see from the graph. Now, there are 12 years when mathematics is not the bottommost, and in all other remaining 30 plus years, mathematics occupies the bottom in terms of the pass percentage. Now this data inform us that performance of the candidates of high school leaving certificate examination, which is the end examination of the secondary education in Mizoram. Mathematics is the lowest compared to all other subjects. And out of 43 HSLC examination conducted by MBSE so far, mathematics mean mark is lowest in 35 examination out of 43 examination. And the pass percentage of mathematics is lowest in 31 examination out of 43 examination. And here is again the mean score of class 12 or higher secondary school leaving certificate science examination from 2009 to 2021. Here, mathematics is the lowest again. This is a very interesting data, because after class 10, the student can take what subject he wants. All these candidates are those students who want to opt for science, who want to take mathematics. Up to class 10, it is compulsory, and so there may be some problem regarding teaching and learning of mathematics. Those students who opt for mathematics also feel problem, and performance is not very good in higher secondary school level also. And this is the pass percentage in class 12 science examination. Mathematics is again still the lowest. And from this data, as we see, performance in class 12 is also not satisfactory compared to other subjects with mathematics. Now, my conclusion is deep studies needed for finding the reason and to find a way to improve the teaching and learning of mathematics, so the student may score better and know the concept of the subject. There is very few research in mathematics education in Mizoram, and so the government of Mizoram and the higher institution in Mizoram, including the Mizoram University, should have a specific plan to address this issue for the benefit of teacher and student in general. Now, my recommendation is education department do its own way for mathematics education research, and computer and IT experts do their own ways, and our department, mathematics department, also do our own way. But in future, the joint effort from these three departments will be greatly fruitful for the future research regarding mathematics education. The knowledge of IT department, the teaching method, and all other practical problem known from the education department, and mathematics concept well versed from the mathematics department will contribute a very great research in the future. And for the last but not the least, with the advancements of ICT, it may be a prime time to find a practical solution using ICT for teaching and learning of mathematics in school education in Mizoram, though there are many problems or obstacles to fight from the government side and from the education side. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. L.Thangmawia. There are different comments in the chat thanking you and congratulating you for your presentation. It was very informative, and we have questions too. And so the first question is, and I'm going to read textually from the Q&A. I'm not mathematics fraternity, but I feel the paper is interesting and informative. My question is, syllabus and textbook committee of MBSC, chaired by humble Minister of Education, discussing about mathematics subject after class X. What was the outcome of that discussion?
The outcome of that discussion was that at the government level, they are framing syllabus for mathematics A and B. And at that time, all the society working for mathematics, like Mizoram Mathematics Society, are studying the pros and cons of this decision. And Mathematics Society, headed by advisor Dr. L.Thangmawia, approached the school education minister, and all the pros and cons were discussed deeply with school education minister. At that time, the government changed its way and it was not implemented. It is the initiative of the Mizoram Mathematics Society under the leadership of Dr. L.Thangmawia.
Thank you, Mr. L.Thangmawia. I have a lot of questions. It was a great presentation, but in the interest of time, I am gonna continue to our next presenter.
Thank you, Dr. Lima. It is my pleasure and honor to present our next conference. Our next presentation, Mr. Marcos Campos Nava got a mechanical engineering degree. Dr. Marcos Campos Nava got a mechanical engineering degree for Technologic Institute of Pachuca, Mexico. He has a master's degree in mathematics education for Autonomous University of Hidalgo State, Mexico, and a PhD in physics education from the Polytechnic National Institute in Mexico. From 2011 until now, he has adscription to academic area of mathematics and physics at Autonomous University of Hidalgo State, Mexico, being teacher at undergraduate students of physics